ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦ ਸਚ ਜੁਗਾਦ ਸਚ ਹੈ ਭੀ ਸਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ 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 ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ Okay, so thank you very much for having me here in Southall. I feel like I've made it. I'm living my dream here in Southall. It was funny actually because as I was leaving, my wife was like, "Where do you think you're going?" Which is something I'm quite used to. And I said, "I'm going to do a talk." She goes, "Where?" In Southall. She goes, "Oh, Southall." She quickly got the kids around. She goes, "Oh, give your dad a kiss. Tell him you love him." And I was like, "Why are you doing that?" She goes, "Well, you're going to Southall. So we don't know if you'll make it back." Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. But I don't think that's true. I mean, it was just fine. Only a couple of guys pulled out a knife on me. But other than that, the thing was, it's like the joke's on them because I have no money, nothing. So I don't even have a pajama. So it's like, so that should have been a clue to them. They're not going to get anything from him. But I think they do know that Giani's at the Gurdwara get paid cash. So they probably were thinking, he's probably got cash. Oh, is that better now? Yeah. Yeah, see, I hated that colour. This is good. Okay, Ji. So yeah, thank you for, like I said, for having me. Joking aside, I do love Southall, and some of my favourite people, they are from Southall, but they moved obviously. So I don't know why, but they don't like talking about it. So I think some of them have been relocated, so like under the witness protection programs. But anyway, so only joking. I live in Birmingham, so it's worse. So you know what I mean. can't get any worse than Birmingham. So, but yeah. So when you leave Birmingham, you have nothing worth getting stolen anyway because it's already gone, or you don't have it. So, but yes, but thank you very much. My name is Sukhwinder Singh. In case some of you are wondering who's this guy, and I sometimes people call me Sukhi Baba. I don't know where that title came from, but it's got me around the world, so I'm not complaining. And you've heard I live in Birmingham. Anyone here family in Birmingham? Been to Birmingham? Yeah, one person. Or they all kind of a bit ashamed to admit it. Yeah. Well, I'm ashamed, but chalo koi nahi. So yes, today's topic, Sikhi versus time. So I was like, what do you have in mind when they gave me a title? By the way, do you mind if I just sit down? No, okay. Or I'll just sit down then, because I'm getting almost 50 now. So I know what you're thinking. No, never, 50. I am. So I'm getting all these like body problems now. I just woke up this morning I've done my backing, so it's just one of those things you just got to accept. So my apologies. If you do want me to stand up, then you got to carry on wishing, because I ain't. I'm just going to sit down and do it. Plus, I think it helps the camera people as well, isn't it? Yeah. Well, they don't mind. So anyway, so yeah, Sikhi versus time. And I was like, what do you guys have in mind? Do you want to talk about why, like, the Singhs are always like late everywhere? You know, like, we never stick to, you know, if you say, "Main 5 minutes aaya," the guy's not even left Birmingham. Like, "Bas main pahunchani wala," like, you know, he's just still getting his kurta pajama on. So, "Bas main aa gaya." You must have heard those phrases so much. "Bas main aa gaya, pahunch gaya bas." So, but it wasn't that. We're going to look at basically, then we were like, well, they're gonna, you know, want something, some sort of content. So then I started thinking, maybe we should look at Sikhi. Now, Sikhi to me, Sikhi and time, to me, Sikhi is timeless, right? So I thought, good sort of headline, a good sort of section to talk about. Sikhi, the code of conduct that we practice, is also timeless. To me, to my understanding, and has Sikhi changed with times? So we're going to look at how we as people. So it may be that Sikhi hasn't changed. Well, to you, it may have changed, or it should change. There might be a point of discussion at some point. And it's an important point, actually. So if you do, and you know, at any point, as I'm going through these slides, any point you feel you want to stop me and add something to what I'm saying, or you want to question what I've said, or you don't agree with it, then by all means, please, you know, raise your hands, and you can ask away. So you have that freedom to do that. At my age, I don't get offended anymore. So if you want to, like, kind of, you know, completely say, "Oh, that's just a lot of rubbish," you know, I don't agree with that, I probably will agree with you. I only did that on the way, you know, so these slides, I just prepared them on the way here. So I don't know what's on them, to be fair. Half of this is, you know, AI. So, but, but, you know, I'll still get paid at the end, so, which is, that's it. Yeah, yeah. But don't spread that around, you know, in case those people with the knives are still out there. So they might have come in here, you know. They're like, "Bhai, so yeah, you want me to carry your bag to the car?" And normally you'd be like, "Yeah, you know, what a nice person." But then you see them running, like, and you're like, "Hang on, my car's that way." But chalo, you learn through your mistakes. But anyway, yeah, I don't mind if you have any, if you don't agree with something. I once put up, like, just an opening slide, and it was on this talk, but I was like, I was just doing the same thing. I was like, if anyone's got any objections, and this, like, one kid just raised his hand straight away. I was like, I haven't even started yet, mate. You know, it was just the opening slide. What could be wrong with this? And he was a 6-year-old kid, and that made me even more mad. I was like, look, you know, meri daadi chitti hogi doing this, and, you know, a 6-year-old telling me got a mistake. Well, the thing was, it was actually a mistake, he pointed out, which made me more vexed. But I told him to go away and stuff like that. So everything was all right. He only cried for a bit. So, but since then, I've mellowed out. So if you do something wrong, or spelling or whatever, you know, just please, by all means, is what I'm trying to say. And then at the end, we don't have sort of infinite minutes or seconds and time. Is running out, basically. From the moment we are born, the clock starts, you know, ticking, the sands of time. You know, the egg timer is flipped, and those grains are falling slowly. And we have this opportunity to beat time this time. How do we do it, right? And how do we defeat that? How do we become timeless ourselves? Okay, so that's what we're going to look at. Tiga, you happy with that, everyone? Yeah, Tiga, okay. But if anyone feels tired or want to go to sleep, I won't be offended again. So by all means, you can do that. So let's look at Sikhi first of all. How is Sikhi timeless? Now, Sikhi is timeless, right? Because Sikhi is Sach, right? The truth, okay? And the practice of Sikhi is like a title, okay? You know, when we say, what's a Sikh? Can you, define what the word Sikh means and all of that? We say a learner or a student or a disciple and all of that. But really what it is something that will help us, okay, reach the truth, the Sach, and realize that Sach. And that Sach actually resides and sits within us. But how do we actually realize it? How do we break away all the layers and then, find that truth that sits like within us? Sade andar hi baitha hai. Right? That's what Sikhi is. It's just, Sikhi will strip away all those layers, right, of Maya and this identity that separates us from, from our true home, which is Paramatma, Vaheguru and Sach. How do we realize that? So Sikhi is basically Sach. And as Maharaj tells us in the Mool Mantra, one of the first things you will read when you read Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj's Bani is Ek Oankar Satnam Karta Purkh Nirbhau Nirvair, and then we come to Akal Murat. Now, Akal comes from the word, okay, Kal. Okay, Kal is time. Okay, or death sometimes is referred to as death. And death is basically time when your time runs out, right? So, everything has a shelf life. I remember watching this program. It was about astronomy, and this guy, it was an educational program. So, as you can probably tell from the way I look, I'm not really the type who watches educational programs, watching EastEnders or whatever. I don't know, does he still come on? I don't know. But anyway, so I'm not the type. I must have been flicking through channels to find Star Plus, Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu Thi, or something like that. What a title, eh? What a title. Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu Thi. Of course she was at some point. What a stupid thing to say. It's just like Sora Bhi Kadi Jawai Si. If I came up with a show, it'd be like, yeah, of course, what stupid. Anyway, that's, besides the point. So, and the guy was saying, he goes, that the universe that we know, everything that we know, everything that the telescopes and, everything that we observe and see in the universe, the known, the unknown, will cease to exist one day, right? Ek din khatam hoye na, right? And I was like, well, that's quite depressing. You know what I mean? To think that one day everything is going to go. But the thing is, this is where you get that glimmer of hope, and you say, yes, everything will. But one thing that will always be there is the Creator, Akal, because it's not bound by time. So you put the era, like in front of Kal, then you get Akal, that timeless. Okay, the time doesn't affect. Okay, Paramatma, Vaheguru is forever. It's hard for us to comprehend that. For the way we understand, everything has a beginning, must have a beginning, and then a middle part, and then obviously the end. That's how we understand things. Where did it start from? Where did it come from? Those questions. But the thing is, it's not like Paramatma, Vaheguru's always been there, because it's timeless. It's Akal, right? And it's a bit hard to kind of grasp that concept, okay? Because there is no beginning, right? And because there is no beginning, there can never be any end, because there is no beginning. Something that has always been there. There hasn't been a time when the Paramatma has not been there. Paramatma has always existed, right? So Maharaj reminds us straight away Now, this is who we pray to. This is who we are doing bhakti of, is Akal. And whoever you focus on, that becomes part of your concentration, that's who you become. So if you're going to concentrate on Akal, the timeless, you become timeless yourself. You become Akal. We are Akal, right? We are Akal. One of the things is Sikhi, it's timeless, right? And how do we defeat time and merge? It's by getting rid of the layers. Okay? Now, I'm going to talk about what those layers are and how they are a problem. And they are the ones that are affected by time. But we actually, who we really are, we are not affected by time. We are just like our creator, Akal. We are Akal ourselves. But how do we realize? Until we realize that we will always be troubled by Akal, by time, by death, always, until we break free. So Maharaj talks about Sikhi is such is the truth. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, so then, going back to the Mool Mantra, Aad Sach. So Jap, Aad Sach. So Sikhi has been around, truth has been around before the ages, before the concept of time. Like how time's divided into, say, different yugs. So you got, Sat Yugs, Treta, Dwapar, this is the Kal Yuga now. The West might define time as, different ages, right? To try and understand what's happened in the past, what's going on now, and kind of like the future. But Maharaj is saying that Sach, Jada Satya, Paramatma, is Aad Sach. Before the concept of time began, Paramatma Sach, Sikhi, has always been there, right? Juga Aad Sach. So when time did begin, Yoga Aga, the 4 yugs, and it's true and timeless through the yugs, and happy such now in this present moment, and Nanak Hosi Pi such. And in the time to come, right, Sikhi will always be there, right? Whether, like the guy was saying, everything's going to end one day. Because the thing is, Sikhi is the truth, the actual truth, which is Paramatma. Right? Once we realize Paramatma, once we merge into Paramatma again, right, we become Akal ourselves, right? So we break away, right? So the image you see is of Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj as a Dost Daman, his previous life, okay? And Guru Sahib Ji talked about a place, Hemkund Sahib, right? Say, Maharaj says, where they did their bhakti, okay? They said, Tahe hum adik tapasya sadhi, that they did tapasya, tap, penance, right? Hard, like, difficult, harsh bhakti, remembering Paramatma Vaheguru, okay? And Maharaj says, who did they worship? Who did they pray to? Who did they meditate upon? Who was in their concentration? They Mahakal, Kal ka Aradhi. So Mahakal, who is Paramatma Vaheguru, the destroyer of Kal, death, the destroyer of time, meaning the restraints and the restraints of time, the destroyer of that restraint that we all bound by at that time, we are shackled to it, right? We have been chained to this time. And because of that, we suffer whatever we suffer, whether we go through life experiencing happiness or dukkha or the interim periods or whatever it is, highs and lows and, whatever it is constant. And its time is what's actually dishing that out. Time changes. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਈ ਬੰਦੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ 'ਚ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜੇ ਚੰਗਾ ਸਮਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਤੇ ਮਾੜਾ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ 'ਚ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਕਹਾਵਤ ਹੈਗੀ ਐਂਡ ਇਟਸ ਦ ਸੇਮ ਜੇ ਮਾੜਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਚੰਗਾ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ if you reverse it, right, it will keep changing, right, depending on where you are, right, and in that cycle it'd be like happy, okay, sad, more sad, devastating, things pick up or whatever it is constant. Maharaj says it's because you're bound by that kal. And kal is the one pulling you back in. It's pulling you back in all the time. And you've not been able to escape it. So how do we escape? And Maharaj tells us, Mahakal, Kal ka Aradhi. So we have to become the Aradhi of Akal, who's the destroyer of that restraint, those chains. Okay? So even before Sikhi was introduced to us by Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, Sikhi had always existed. Ad Sach, Jugad Sach, Happy Sach, Nanak, Hosi Pi Sach. So we worship that Sach. Yeah, we worship that and we meditate upon that Sach. Okay? And Guru Sahib Ji revealed that Sach to us through Gurbani. And we're going to look at how Gurbani also, our Guru is timeless as well. How? Okay, we're just going to look at that. So, so we ourselves are timeless, as I said in the beginning. But only until we chip away and destroy the outer layers. Okay, ji? Let's go. So, Guru Sahib Ji, Guru's Bani is timeless. Why? Because Maharaj says, Vaho Vaho Bani Nirankar hai. Tis Jevad Avar na koi. Maharaj says, why is Gurbani? Right? Is he like, we say Sikh scriptures when we talk about Guru Granth Sahib, when somebody asks, how do we explain to them that it is not just merely Sikh scriptures, but obviously that's the terminology people understand, so we try and explain in the language they understand. But how do we explain? Be the Guru, and Guru is Vaheguru, because Guru Parmeshwar Eko Jaan. Guru and Parmeshwar is one and the same. And Bani also is the same as Parmeshwar. Vaho Vaho Bani Nirankar hai. Bani Guru hai Bani. Which Bani? Amrit Sare, Maharaj kende. So like they're intertwined, they're one and the same. Bani is Paramatma Vaheguru. And because Paramatma Vaheguru is Guru on earth, when the formless takes a form of the Guru, okay? And then everlasting, how does the Guru remain with us forever? In the form of a Shabad, in the form of Gurbani, in the form of Guru's Shabad, Guru's words, right? So Gurbani becomes Guru. Gurbani is Guru. Gurbani has always been Guru. And even when Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj was asked the question by the Siddhs, that who is your Guru? Right? And they replied, the Pavan Guru, Surt Tun Chela. The Pavan is the Guru. How is Pavan? Pavan is like the air. Right? Now, Shabad is understood and heard through what medium? If there's vacuum, right, would you be able to hear me speak? You'll not be able to hear me speak. Because you need that. That pawan, okay, is what carries that Shabad. When we are speaking, if there is no breath inside of me, there's no pawan inside of me, I will not be able to speak the word of the Guru. Gurbani revealed to us through the pawan. Okay, there's like so many other explanations of that. But this is just one explanation, how we define how the Guru Shabad has always been the Guru. The word has always been the Guru. So Maharaj says that Jedi Bani o Ananankar da Srupa, Gurbani is timeless. Even before there was words, even before there was speech, Gurbani has always existed because Paramatma has always existed. And then when the time came, then Guru Sahib Ji, the formless, takes a form. Now, underneath you hear you see the Doha. So the Doha of Bhai Nandalal Ji. So obviously, as most of you know, Bhai Nandalal Ji was very close to Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. And they talked about the Rahat. And Bhai Nandalal Ji used to write whatever Guru Sahib used to say. And that became like the Rahat that Sikhs practice, and we still look at Rahat. And part of that, they ask, Let me just quickly fast forward here. So the first one, if you see on the right, and it says, I will talk about this rat later on. ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਰਹਿਤ ਸੁਣੋ ਮੇਰੇ ਮੀਤ ਉੱਠ ਪ੍ਰਭਾਤ ਕਰੇ ਹਿਤ ਚੀਤ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਪੁੰਨ ਮੰਤਰ ਜਾਪ ਕਰ ਇਸਨਾਨ ਪੜ੍ਹੇ ਜਪ ਜਾਪ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਕਰੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਪੁੰਨ ਆਏ ਅਦਬ ਸਿਉ ਬੈਠ ਗੁਰ ਹਿਤ ਚਿਤ ਲਾਏ ਤੀਨ ਪਹਿਰ ਜਥ ਬੀਤੇ ਜਾਣ ਕਥਾ ਸੁਣੇ ਗੁਰ ਹਿਤ ਚਿਤ ਜਾਣ ਸੋ the third one ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਕਰੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਪੁੰਨ ਆਏ ਅਦਬ ਸਿਉ ਬੈਠ Gur hit chitlai. So darshan kare. We are to go and see darshan, a vision of the Guru, right? And how? And then, by Nandalaji then asks Maharaj, says, Maharaj, tum jo kaha, Gurudev ji, darshan kar mohe aaye. And Maharaj, you're telling the Sikhs to go and have your darshan. Lakhiye tumra dars kaha. Maharaj, where can we see your darshan? Where can we have that blessed vision of you, Maharaj? Kaho mohe samjhaye. Please tell me, make me understand. And then Sri Guru Vach. Then Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj replies and he says, Doha, teen roop hai mohe ke. Maharaj says, I have 3 roops. Ten mere roop hai. I have 3 forms. What are they? Suno nand chitlai. Right? That enshrine this in your heart. Chitla ke sun. Nirgun. One is nirgun, the formless. Right? What's the second? Gur Sabad. Guru Sabad, Guru's Bani, Guru's word, Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, Guru Sahib Ji Maharaj, Dasna Pasha Maharaj Ji's Bani. Teen roop hai mohe ke suno nand chit laye nirgun. Nirgun is the formless. Formless, that's Paramatma. Timeless. Formless is Paramatma. And then Sargun. Okay? Sargun is when Paramatma takes a form. And that Sargun is the form of the Guru. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. Jot roop har aap Guru Nanak kahayo. So when that formless wanted when the formless listened to the cries and the prayers of his premis, the ones who loved him and cried out for him, to have his darshan, have darshan of Paramatma, Vaheguru, and Maharaj listened to their pukar, of their cries, the cries of love. And then that formless became the one who took a form, and that form was called Guru Nanak. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, da swaroop jehda hai. Oh, Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj kehinde hai, eh mera dooja swaroop hai. Ek mera nirgun swaroop hai. I have a nirgun swaroop, where I have no swaroop, no sharir, no body, nothing. Which was the case when Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, when they gave the Gurta Gaddi to Guru Granth Sahib Ji, when they gave the Guruship to Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj at Nanded, and the Sikhs gathered around, and one of the Sikhs went to touch Maharaj's feet, but his hands just went through, like it's a hologram. And that he couldn't understand. He said, Maharaj, ye kada roop thoda? What sort of roop is this, Maharaj? And Maharaj said, this is the Nirgun Swaroop. I don't read. You think I have a Swaroop. My sort of like Niji Swaroop, as in the real Swaroop is Nirgun. But I take on this form. I have taken on this form, this Sargun Swaroop, is because this is the need of the time, and this is how the Guru's going to pass on the message to the Sikhs and to the world, is in this form. So Maharaj says that's the second root. And then the third one is Guru Shabad. Guru Shabad. Maharaj says I have 3 forms. So Nirgun, formless. Sargun, when Paramatma took a form, which is in the form of the Gurus. Guru Nanak Dev Ji to leke, the Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj tak. Right? And the Guru Shabad is the Shabad that is contained within Gurbani, Guru's Bani. Right? So Gurbani is timeless because Maharaj says it, that it's the Nirgun, and my roop is Nirgun, Sargun, and Guru Shabad. At whatever the need of the time is, right, I show that roop. Yeah? Whatever the need of the time is, I show that roop. Okay, ji? So, and then the roop that Maharaj left us with, which is they're all the same. Really, it's all Nirgun, but for us to be able to understand and for us to be able to help, we have a Swaroop of Maharaj or Guru Granth Sahib Ji as it is, and is a form of Guru Shabad. Okay ji? Okay, so I was talking about the we are timeless as well. We are also timeless. So Maharaj says, and we have to ask this question to ourselves. Suno, suno re, Maharaj says, suno re, tu kaun, kahan te aayo? Maharaj says, suno re, tu kaun? He said, say to yourself, right? Ask yourself this question, suno re, that here. Tu kaun? Who are you really? If you really kind of want to go a bit more deeper, Maharaj says, kahan te aayo? And where have you come from? Right? Somebody asks me, who are you? And somebody asks you, who are you? We straight away tell them our name, where are you from, or, whatever. Unless you're from Birmingham, you're like kind of, But we have an identity, right, that we introduce to people. But the thing is, that is not our real identity. That's not who we really are. That identity, that name has got basically sell-by date. It's bound by time, right? From the moment you got the name, your parents, gave you like a name. You got an akkar from Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. Or sometimes people bypass that and, they want to name their kids Simon or like Chantal or like, like you hear that, Chantal Kaur. And I'm like, what's going on? That would be really confusing, in the future. But anyway, but it's not your name. That's not really your name, but it's a name that has a purpose for a certain amount of time, okay? And then this sarir, this body as well. It has a purpose for we don't know how long we have, for an amount of time, yeah? And wherever we live, how many times people move, where do you live? Oh, I live in, so-and-so, and then Murkis Halabad, you move. Or where are you from? And it changes because it's temporary. There's nothing. But the thing is, the layers are not, so the layers are temporary, but what sits within these layers, which is your Atma, your soul, okay? Now that is permanent and that is timeless, okay? And the reason why we believe in the identity that we get given, or we are so engrossed in it that we fail to find our real self, and we fail to realize our real self because we're too lost in that identity that we have. Okay, you are too busy trying to feed it, too busy trying to clothe it, too busy trying to make it look, good, too busy trying to make it successful. It's just all sorts of things, too busy trying to have family, kids, and all of that. I'm not saying don't do that, but I'm just saying we get so engrossed that we fail, we neglect the reality that sits within those layers, right? So the reason why we get lost, Maharaj says there's 5 types of param. Param is like an illusion, okay? And it's like difference, like paid, illusion, deeds, kartat, illusion, sang, the company, and then we have vikar, something that, useless that we do, and tat. So I'm just going to look at 2, 3, and 4, okay? Because they're the ones who are kind of relevant to what we are talking about, okay? So the third one, sang, this illusion, that to recognize the real self as in the company of the physical body, right? Whereas the real self never takes birth with the body, neither dies with the body, right? Banda kehndे na oh bande da janam ho gaya ji, oh banda jam piya, oh banda mar gaya ji, they've gone passed away. But no one's really have taken birth, or koi marya, na koi jiunda aaya na koi marya aaya. It's just like transition, like a state, right? And once that passes time, then that's it. Although according to the measure of time, we say a banda is born. According to the measure of time, a banda hun mar gaya. right? But the thing is, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਚੀਜ਼ ਬੈਠੀ ਆ, so our real self, what's timeless within us, it is never born with this sareer, with this body, and it's never going to die with this sareer body. And the other one is the vikar, the illusions to recognize real self atma in changing state. Like saying, infant, you have infant, then your baby, teenager, youth, and, young and old, and then, kind of we have a state. But the thing is, that's not really our state, truly, because we are not bound by any of those states, because they are bound by time, all of those states, but we are not. We are not. But the sad thing is, but the sad reality is, the one that is inside of us, our soul, is trapped in those transitions. It has to suffer all of those states, all of those, until, if you don't make it, until the cycle begins again and again and again and again and again. It'll carry on, right? If you were to go and research into sort of reincarnation, you'll find, people will remember their past life. Oh, main vyaya siga itthe, mera itthe vyah hoya siga, of the so many kids or whatever it was. And then you cut to them and they're like a little child who's speaking, who still remembers. Because what happens is, our memory, those of us who remember, it's like it's only for a short period. Past a certain age, you start to forget things. But here's a person, I was listening to this one, so like an 8-year-old, 9-year-old, talking about when they were like, 40s or 50s, right? And you're like, what's going on, right? There's a 8-year-old talking about when they were. So all of that number is an illusion. They're talking about main oh hunda si, ah hunda si, hun main eh. But it's not, you're not. That 8-year-old is not that 8-year-old who thinks he's that. And that 8-year-old was never the one he remembers who he was. Na oh siga, na hun oh. And we don't know what's going to happen in the next life, right? It's because we live in this illusion. Bhai, a vikar, it's a vikar. Okay, ji? Now, a vikar is also so like an ab or something negative about us, right? And it is, Mara says that until we break out of it, we will never understand this, right? And then there's a quote in Bani, Mara says, Gurmukh buddhe kade nahi, jina antar surt gyan, sada sada har gun ravehe, antar sahaj dhyan. And Mara says, jede Gurmukh ya kadi buddhe nahi hunde, they don't age, right? What is Mara talking about? Physically, do they not age? They do, right? Physically, they, some Gursikhs, although I've seen, they're like, proper like, look, they don't look their age, right? Not me, but, there's people who don't. So, but that's like, not what Maharaj is saying. Well, Maharaj is actually saying that those who then realize the truth and their true identity through Guru Shabad, Antar Surt Gyan, that through their Surti, when they attach their consciousness and their Surti, their focus on Guru Shabad, then they attach to the timeless that sits within them, right? That's Paramatma di Jyot, jinu Atma vi si keh denne like, right? And Sada Sada Har Gun Ravahe Antar Sahaj Dhyan, and then they remain in that state forever. They remain in that state forever, right? Age has no meaning. How old were Guru Har Krishan Sahib Ji Maharaj? 5 saal di umar de vich Guru Sahib Ji got the Gurta Gaddi, became the Guru, 5 years of age. And there was a Pandit Ji heard the name Har Krishan. They were like, how can he has such a name like Har Krishan? So Krishan Bhagwan Ji hoya, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਤੇ ਇੰਨੀ ਸੀਗੀ bhakti. How can a 5-year-old go around claiming that name? And when they went to see Guru Har Krishan Sahib Ji Maharaj, Guru Sahib Ji Maharaj kende, and when he asked, to cut the long story short, to prove that Guru has, in reality, Guru is a Nirgun Swarup, right? It's a Nirgun Swarup, but it takes on a form, right? He gets the Pandit Ji to go and find anyone that Guru Har Krishan Sahib Ji Maharaj will then do the arth of Gita Ji, or Bhagavad Gita, right? So Pandit goes and they find somebody who's a Gunga Bera, a bit of Kamala, right? And thinking, yeah, surely, Maharaj is kind of going to be undone here. But Guru Har Krishan Sahib Ji Maharaj takes that shadi that he used to keep with him, like a cane, and puts it on on his head. And I think his name was Chajuchi, or I might be mistaken. And then he starts reciting from Gita, the Upadesh from Gita. And not only that, he starts doing arth, right? To show that age has nothing to do with the Gyan and wisdom. Okay, what sits within us. So Guru Sahib Ji Maharaj is saying the reason why we keep falling into that trap is because of the illusion of sang and the vikar. It's part of Maya. They're very strong. And sooner or later, even if it's like kind of, when you hear about these things, it's like you deep sleep and you're opening your eyes. But the thing is, you're unable to get yourself out of that deep sleep. Sooner or later, your eyes are going to close back and then you're going to be back asleep. Maharaj says it's very strong to break out of it. Only Gurmukhs can with Guru Sahib Ji's Kirpa. So then we talk about the Sikhi rat that we keep. So the spiritual rat that we keep, okay? It's like, it doesn't change with time at all, the practice. Now this Guru Satguru ka jo Sikh akhaye, so palke uth har naam te aave. Guru Ramdas Ji Maharaj has recorded this very first written form of rat that he gave to the Sikhs. And it was upon by Gurdas Ji asking Maharaj, as a Sikh, what should we follow? What sort of rat code of conduct we should follow? And Maharaj talks about this rat. And like I said in the beginning, Sikhi is not just about saying, this is my dharma, this is my faith, but Sikhi is about it helps us realize that truth that has always existed with us. Okay? And it's done through Guru's Bani, but Guru's Bani has to have a maryada, a structure that we are to follow to be able to realize. Because the thing is, how many angs do we have of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj? Yeah? 1430 ang, 1430 angs of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. मगर गल बड़ी सौखी आ बई गुरु दा शब्द जपो है ना ते मुक्त हो जाओगे, right? Maharaj could have just said, here's Vaheguru mantra, here's Mool mantra, aa japi jao, gal muk gi. Maharaj could have said that. Yeah, he could have said that. But why? Maharaj had to write 1430 ang Gurbani de. Kyun? है ना? क्योंकि all of those, if we follow the teachings of all of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj in the form of the rat that we've been given, they will help us connect to the Mool Mantra. And the Akal that is mentioned in the Mool Mantra, and that Akal is Vaheguru, will connect us to the Akal in the Mool Mantra, and the Akal is Vaheguru, will connect to Vaheguru, right? So we need all of that. We need a structure for us to follow, and that structure is of Gurbani, is of Rat, right? And it's not something that, sometimes we're like, people, I think you may have this talk maybe later on, but it's like, I don't really need the Guru, right? As I know what I need to do. I can understand, Guru Bani. I'll just follow and live my life according to Guru Bani. I don't really need to, officially have a Guru in my life. But that's a different, talk altogether. But this is the Rat Maharaj gave us. Okay? Guru Satguru ka jo Sikh akhaye so palke uthar naam te aave, udam kare palke prabhati isnan kare amrit sar naave. It's very simple. Right? Maharaj says now, this is very important. People like me go around, main Sikh hain ji. I know people say, I'm very proud to say I'm Sikh. But Maharaj says, you can't call yourself a Sikh unless you wake up early in the morning, Amrit Vela, and remember Vaheguru. Mere arge, 8, 9, 10 baje, like, after so many snoozes or whatever it is, like, getting a lie in or whatever. Maharaj says, ਇਹ ਸਿੱਖ ਦਾ ਕੰਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਇੰਨੀ ਸੌਖੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ the Sikhi ਰਹਿਤ right now if you want to become timeless you gotta adopt the ਰਹਿਤ that is timeless okay so ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸਵੇਰੇ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਵੇਲੇ ਉੱਠ ਕੇ then we have ਇਸ਼ਨਾਨ ਕਰਨਾ right the reason why I mention this is because it's practical okay it's just like practical if you followed this okay in your life you will be successful doesn't matter if you are even if you take the Sikhi aspect out on a worldly level you will be successful if you woke up early in the morning okay if you woke up early in the morning and you just kind of cleared your head cleared your mind your thoughts right have ishnan you're looking after your physical self right and it'll keep a lot of the ailments away from you right and in the old days and still now the Gursikhs have thande pani da ishnan thanda pani the rat used to be thande pani da ishnan karna having cold showers right I tried it right ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤੇ ਸਾਹ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਆਉਂਦਾ like I opened the shower and I went under it ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਅੰਦਰ ਜਾਵਾਂ ਹੀ ਨਾ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀ ਹੋ ਜਾਣਾ and once I went in ਮੇਰਾ ਸਾਹ went straight to 10ਵਾਂ ਦੀਵਾਰ ਮੇਰਾ ਸਾਹ 10ਵੀਂ ਦੀਵਾਰ ਚੜ ਗਿਆ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤੇ ਸਾਹ ਮੁੜ ਕੇ ਥੱਲੇ ਨਾ ਆਵੇ it was like how do these Gursikhs manage it they do it but the thing is we know now the benefits of having ਠੰਡੇ ਪਾਣੀ ਦਾ ਇਸ਼ਨਾਨ right but ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਉਦੋਂ ਰਹਿਤ ਚ ਦੇ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਵੀ you're not gonna sit in your ਬਿਸਤਰਾ like and ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਬਿਸਤਰੇ 'ਚ ਬਹਿ ਕੇ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਕਰੀ ਜਾਵਾਂ that lasts for about 30 seconds ਮੁੜ ਕੇ ਫਿਰ ਘਰਾੜੇ ਹੀ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਆ ਮੁੜ ਕੇ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਵੀ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਯਾਰ ਉੱਠਿਆ ਤੇ ਸੀਗਾ ਮਗਰ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਚਲਾ ਗਿਆ so ਰਜਾਈ 'ਚ ਕਿਤੇ ਗਵਾਚ ਗਿਆ but the wrath I'm talking about the wrath Maharaj gave us, even if you took out the spiritual aspect out, but it's still so good for you. Still so good for you. Thande pani de naal, not just physically, obviously I'm not saying that tanu bukhar chadya like kal nu eh na howe bhi you're suffering from bukhar or whatever and you're going to have ishnan and mud ke tanu haspatal le jana pੈ ਜਾਏ like ambulance ਸੱਦ ਲੈਣ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ ambulance ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ you know what I mean ਉਹ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਪੁੱਛਦੇ ਵੀ ਬੰਦਾ ਹਲੇ ਮਰਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੇ ਲਾਈਨ ਹਲੇ ਜਿਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਜੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਫੇਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਫੇਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਮਰ ਜੂਗਾ ਉਦੋਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਫੋਨ ਕਰਿਓ ਜਾਂ ਮਰਨ ਵਾਲਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਊਗਾ ਉਦੋਂ ਫੋਨ ਕਰਿਓ ਅਸੀਂ ਆ ਜਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਸੋ I don't want anyone kind of saying ਭਾਈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਠੰਡੇ ਪਾਣੀ ਨਾਲ ਇਸ਼ਨਾਨ ਕਰਨਾ ਮੈਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਮੁੜ ਕੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਐਂਬੂਲੈਂਸ ਵਾਲੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਗਏ ਅਤੇ ਮਸਾਂ ਹੀ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਇਆ ਮੈਨੂੰ so this is a disclaimer but if you're bamar that's different okay but the point is it's so good for you physically and not just that mentally if you got like some sort of damagi like kind of issue right and you suffer from anxiety from depression and other things there is such a thing called cold water therapy Google it where they take people for a swimming like cold like pani and things like that it's so good so the point I'm trying to make here is the wrath of a Gursikh right Maharaj not only combined the two so that you need to be in a right frame of mind to be able to do bhakti if you're not in the right frame of mind Saad Sangat ji you'll not be able to do bhakti ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਮਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਨਾ ਟਿਕਾਣੇ if your mind is not in the right place ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਕਰੀ ਜੇ ਤੂੰ ਸੁਖਮਨੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਪੜ੍ਹਿਆ ਕਰ ਤੂੰ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜਪਿਆ ਕਰ yeah you will do it and it will help you no doubt whatsoever but it'll be a lot more difficult for you to be able to do it unless your mind's in the right place and Guru Sahib Ji gives us all the tool and the Rat Maharaj gives us can be applied because the other point I'm trying to make here is the Rat is not like back in the day it sort of worked but now like we need to change Sikhi we need to change the Rat no Rat is also timeless ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਸ ਸਮੇਂ applied it applies now and it'll always be that way right and you can read the rest and talking about the physical Rat as well the reason why I put up some of those images okay ji is we see Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj as someone because you get some people this one Bibi she was saying she goes ਅਸੀਂ oh yes so you talk about gall if we don't give it some like swas it's going to shut so the battery's dying on it Okay, so it's going to be a bit of a reach for me. So I do. That's kind of you. Kind of. Okay. So I can't see what I'm saying now. Maybe it's here, yeah. Camera ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਹੀ if they want to. Okay, thank you. Okay, Kelly, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Hang on. I didn't realise I was going on for that long. Okay. I promise I'm going to finish soon, alrighty? You're probably thinking, ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਸਵਾਉਣਾ ਘਰੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਕੰਮ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਜਾਣਾ ਕੱਲ. So anyway, if you do want to leave, you can. Like I said, I won't mind, okay? I won't mind. Just make sure no one leaves. So, right, let me just go. I'll quickly mention it. This Bibi goes to me, she goes, ਅਸੀਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਮੰਨਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਮੰਨਦੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਮਗਰ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਲੜਾਈਆਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਰਹੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਕਿਰਪਾਨਾਂ ਚੁੱਕ ਲੀਆਂ that kind of stuff. It was like, I was like, you think Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj is different to Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj? Like, ਹਾਂ ਉਹ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਦੇਖੋ ਨਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਬਸ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਕੀਤਾ like they didn't ਬੜੇ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ and I was like, did Guru Gobind Singh Maharaj not do praying with people? Maharaj ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਝਟਕਾ ਹੀ ਮਾਰਦੇ ਰਹੇ like ਕਿਰਪਾਨਾਂ ਹੀ ਮਾਰਦੇ ਰਹੇ this is sort of like perception you have. But the thing is, we all often think Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj was not a Shastratari. They didn't carry a Shastra. Maharaj carried a Shastra. This image I find really interesting. Obviously, you may have a different view of this image of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. But the reason why I've chosen it, it shows Maharaj as Shastratari, right? There is a kirpan of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj that sits in one of the takhts. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's a Patna Sahib. I might be mistaken where it sits, which takht. But that kirpan was given to Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj by a Raja of a place called Padrak. The place Maharaj visited Padrak, the Raja ne Maharaj nu Shastra ditta siga. And the thing is, if Maharaj was just a sadhu, then you don't give sadhu a Shastra. You only give somebody something that that going to be useful for them, or they sort of live that sort of life. And Maharaj and Kol and Bhai Gurdas ji also mentions that Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj they carried a barsha with them. Maharaj apne kol barsha rakhde hunde sige, like a spear, right? For practical reasons as well as part of the rath. Okay, now Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj went on their journeys, right? Guru Sahib ji gaye a, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ 4 ਉਦਾਸੀਆਂ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ. So, and back then there was like you're going through like forests and jungles and sort of you don't know who's going to be kind of coming for you, attacking you, wild animals or people, chor, dakat, murderers and all sorts. Maharaj seen all of them, right? So Maharaj had to have a shastra on them for those reasons. And Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji Maharaj, obviously shastratari, and even the physical fitness and the shastras were carried all the way through. In Panjve Pasha Maharaj's times, right? Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj's times, when I think it was Sulhi Khan who was going to come and attack Maharaj, the Sikhs came around and they said, Maharaj, what do you want us to do? We can go and fight them as well. If you want us to go and write to them, we'll write to them. We'll send somebody around to kind of negotiate a peace treaty, or we can go and we can fight them. Because they were prepared. Onna kol shastra sige. It wasn't like, Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji Maharaj just introduced that concept out of nothing. It has always been there through Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. So that time, the wrath of being Shastratari, the reason why I mentioned this, Sangaji, is because a lot of times people say, oh, we live in a different age now. You don't need to carry a kirpan anymore, right? Kirpan di koi lod nahi hai. Ye purane samay diyan gallan and things like that. But the thing is, to us, it's just much more than a kirpan. It's not just when we go and matha take in front of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, who else do we matha take to, Sangat Ji? to the shastras, right? The Kripan. Sahib Sarohi Sahti, eh hamare peer. Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj sitting on his throne, right? And a Singh's doing Chaur Sahib on Maharaj. And then next to Maharaj, there's another throne. And that throne has the Shastras Prakash on it. And there's a Singh doing Chaur on the Shastras as well. And then this guy comes and he looks at it, he finds it a bit odd. And he says to Maharaj, Guru Sahib Ji, I understand why they're doing Chaur Sahib on you, but why are they doing Chaur Sahib on the Shastra? Maharaj smiles and he says, why do you think they're doing Chaur Sahib on me? Because Maharaj, you're the Guru. मैं गुरु किदा है Maharaj Sikha, you the Guru of the Sikhs. Tu Sikha de Guru. Then Maharaj says, okay. He goes, मैं Sikha da Guru हाँ, ते मेरे सीस ते चौर हुंदी आ. He goes, मेरा Guru पता कौन है? He goes, वे सामने तेरे. That's my Guru. Sahib Sarohi Sahti, यह हमारे पीर. So the status of a Kripan is much more than like just, say, and some we sometimes fail to kind of realize and question Maharaj's wrath without even kind of trying to find out why something is a certain way. Because ਜੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਹੋਰ ਨੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਹਿਤੀ ਉਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਦਿਮਾਗ 'ਚ ਪੈ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਆ, ਅਸੀਂ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਲਾਈਕ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਗੱਲ ਇਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਹੋਊਗੀ. ਪਰ ਨੋ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਆਦ ਸੱਚ, ਜੁਗਾਦ ਸੱਚ, ਹੈਪੀ ਸੱਚ, ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਵੀ ਸੱਚ. ਜੇ ਤਲਵਾਰ ਉਦੋਂ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਆ, ਹੁਣ ਵੀ ਲੋੜ ਆ, ਗਾਂ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਰੱਖਣੀ ਆ. Doesn't matter what stage you get to. A Singh told me this, right? He didn't so much Simran that he risen above this that sarir of his, right? He merged like kind of his surti in Paramatma. And ਉਹਨੇ ਕਕਾਰ ਪਾਉਣੇ ਵੀ ਛੱਡਤੇ, right? He was like, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਹੁਣ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਕਕਾਰਾਂ ਦੀ ਵੀ, ਕੜੇ ਦੀ ਵੀ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ. ਦਸਮ ਪਿਤਾ Maharaj gave him darshan. He goes, ਤੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ, ਆ ਦੇਖ ਮੇਰੇ ਹਾਲੇ ਵੀ ਪਾਇਆ. I still have it. I still have mine. ਗੁਰੂ ਕਹਿਣ ਡਿਆ, I still have mine. ਵੀ ਜੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਹਾਲੇ ਵੀ ਪਾਇਆ, ਤੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦਾ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਹੁਣ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਹੁਣ ਕਿਰਪਾਨ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ. ਨਾ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨੇ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦਿੱਤੀ, because there's a lot of stuff. ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਿਰਪਾਨ ਆ ਨਾ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਰਬਲੋ ਆ, it helps not just take care of sort of the negativity that is in the sansar, but it's also the sansar that we don't see. There's many sort of lost souls, and there's many things out there that the eyes can't see. ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸ਼ਸਤਰ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ. The shastra will always do your rakhya, right? Sarabalo avatar. I mentioned Sarabalo avatar, right? The only avatar that was all Sarabalo took the form of Sarabalo. The body was made of loha, iron, Sarabalo, right? And Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj talks about Sarabalo, and Guru Sahib Ji's on Granth Sri Sarabalo Darbar. Sri Sarabalo Granth de vich Guru Sahib Ji ne oh Granth jehda likha, and it relates to all the way to the previous yugs. And then the 9 non-Nandas who then settled in Nanded, and then the place then was called Nanded, right? They were liberated by Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, because they were all the way from Satyug Sama. They were from Satyug the Sama. And the Guru, they followed, when they asked their Guru, they want mukti, liberation. He said, I can't give you liberation. When Paramatma comes, when the formless comes in his Sargun Sarup as the true Guru on earth, will give you mukti. And Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj was that Guru. They waited for the non-nuns, all those yugs. Timeless. And the wrath Guru Sahib Ji gives us is timeless. It's been present in all of those yugs. So, jede shastra vi si paune a Sath Sangat Ji. Right? And the spiritual wrath and the physical. Our physical wrath that we practice protects our spiritual wrath. Right? Guru Sahib Ji Nishane Sikhi Panj Harf Ast Kaaf. ਖਾਲਸੇ ਲਈ ਇਹ ਜੋ 5 ਕੱਕੇ ਅੱਖਰ ਹਨ, ਇਹ ਪੱਕੀ ਨਿਸ਼ਾਨੀ ਸਿੱਖ ਧਰਮ ਦੀ ਹੈ. So Maharaj is saying this is a Photak Savaye of Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, right? That this will differentiate a normal person from a Sikh. A true Sikh has these 5 Ks, ਪੰਜ ਕੱਕੇ ਹਰਗਿਜ਼ ਨਾ ਬਾਸ਼ਦ ਅਸੀਂ ਪੰਜ ਮੁਆਫ। ਜੇਕਰ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤਧਾਰੀ ਸਿੱਖ ਇਹ ਕੱਕੇ ਤਿਆਗ ਦੇਵੇ ਤੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਹੁਕਮ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਉਸ ਕੁਰੈਤੀ ਸਿੱਖ ਨੂੰ ਕਦਾਚਿਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਖਸ਼ਾਂਗਾ। Maharaj says that Sikh who then says ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ, I don't really need them anymore, Maharaj says that the Sikh, that mistake is very hard to forgive. And Maharaj says ਕੜਾ ਕਾਰ ਦੋ ਕੱਛ ਕੰਗੇ ਬਿਦਾਂ। ਸੋ ਕੜਾ ਕਿਰਪਾਨ ਕਸ਼ਹਿਰਾ ਕੰਗਾ ਕੇਸ ਇਹ ਜਾਣ ਲਵੋ। ਸੋ all the 5 ਕੱਕੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬਿਨਾਂ ਕੇਸ ਹੇਚ ਅਸਤ ਜੁਮਲੇ ਨਿਸ਼ਾਨ। So the 4 that Maharaj mentions, kada, kardo, kach, kange. So kada, kripan and kashahra and kanga. But if you just wear them without having a long case, Maharaj says, bila case hech ast jumale nishan. ਜੇਕਰ ਚਾਹੇ ਕਿ ਬਿਨਾਂ ਕੇਸਾਂ ਤੋਂ 4 ਕੱਕੇ ਪਹਿਨ ਕੇ ਮੋਨਾ ਪੀ ਸਿੰਘ ਬਣੇ ਤੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਫਰਮਾਇਆ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਬਿਨਾਂ ਕੇਸਾਂ ਤੋਂ 4 ਕੱਕੇ ਉਸ ਮੋਨੇ ਦਾ ਕਛ ਫਲਦਾਇਕ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣਗੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੇ। as long as you have your case, Maharaj says case ਤੋਂ ਬਗੈਰ ਨਹੀਂ, right? And the rat that Maharaj gave. And the शस्त्र के अधीन है राज बिना ना धर्म चले हैं, धर्म बिना सब दले मले हैं, कोई किसी को राज ना दे हैं, जो ले हैं निज बल से रहे हैं। Maharaj saying if you want to prosper, right, as people of faith, doesn't matter what dharma, but especially your own dharma, if you want your dharma to survive, okay, Maharaj says it has to be protected with a shastra. Shastra to bagair nahi hai. Without that, you will not be able to defend yourself and the Sikhi that you want to practice, right? Sooner or later, if we look at the world around us, Sadh Sangat Ji, we have, as long as we have the freedom, right, that's all, well and good. But there might come a time when that is challenged. How do we then fight back? We're not going to be going out on the streets and protesting. Then going, protest against not being able to do my Panjabaniya in the morning, or this is not how things work. You can protest all you like, Sadh Sangat Ji. Jo unna ne karna, unna ne kar hi dena hai. Jina marji rola pai jao tusi. Especially now. And if we believe, I'm not, trying to say don't protest this, whatever. You do whatever you want to do. But the point I'm trying to make is, if we move away from what the Guru's telling us, to what the society is saying, this is okay for us to do now, that's not okay for us to do. That maybe back in the day, but this is okay for us to do now. Maharaj said, Karlo try, you do whatever you want to do. But in reality, what's actually going to help you is the Raat Maharaj has given you. Right? So, we talked about that, Raat as well. By the way, if anybody wants the slides, please just give me your email or whatever you want to give me. You can download it from the computer itself. You can have it. So if anybody wants the slides, okay, Ji? We talked about this, but I just wanted to come to this slide. I'm just going to finish very soon, to the delight of a lot of you. So how Sikhi changed with times. Look at us. Look at us. Where we were and where we are. Sadh Sangat Ji. ਕਿੱਥੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਤੇ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਆ ਗਏ ਆ। ਉਹ ਦੇਖੋ ਬਾਬਾ ਦੀਪ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਲਕੀਰ ਖਿੱਚੀ ਫਿਰਦੇ ਆ ਖੰਡੇ ਨਾਲ। ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ ਵਾਸ ਲਾਈਕ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਿੱਖ ਆਪਣਾ ਸੀਸ ਗੁਰੂ ਨੂੰ ਭੇਟ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ, ਉਹ ਇਹ ਲਕੀਰ ਦੇ ਅੱਗੇ ਵਧੇ। Even before Baba Ji has stopped saying those words, ਉਹ ਸਿੰਘ ਤੇ ਉੱਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਅੱਗੇ ਟੱਪ ਕੇ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਕੀ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ, ਕਿ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਕਹਿ ਦਿੱਤਾ, ਦੱਸ ਗੋ ਸਿੰਘਾਂ ਨੇ ਲਕੀਰ ਟੱਪ ਲਈ, ਲਕੀਰ ਟੱਪ ਲਈ। ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, ਲਕੀਰ ਉੱਥੇ ਦੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਆ। The ਲਕੀਰ hasn't moved. That line hasn't moved. ਮੈਂ ਉਦੋਂ ਦੇ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ 'ਚ ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ 'ਚ ਇੰਨਾ ਫਰਕ ਆ ਵੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਵਰਗੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਉਹ ਲਕੀਰ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ, ਬਈ ਜੇ ਮੈਂ ਲਕੀਰ ਟੱਪ ਲਈ ਤੇ ਕੀ ਬਣੂਗਾ, ਕੀ ਹੋਊਗਾ? What will happen to me? What will happen to my parivar? What will happen to my career? What will happen to this? What will happen to that? Right? ਮੈਂ ਜਿਉਂਦਾ ਰਹਾਂਗਾ? Oh, does this, am I allowed to do this? Right? ਮੇਰੇ ਵਰਗੇ 100 ਬਹਾਨੇ ਲੱਭਦੇ ਆ ਲਕੀਰ ਟੱਪਣ ਲੱਗਿਆ। Right? But ਜਿਹੜੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਨੂੰ ਸਿਰ ਦੇ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, ਉਹ ਫਿਰ ਲਕੀਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ, ਉਹ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਆ ਵੀ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਦੇਵਾਂ ਸਿਰ, दसो कित्थे खलोना आ, मैं खलो जाना है ना. The thing is, the point I'm trying to make is the difference that we have because the wrath that we've kept to the wrath that we have now, right? That how time has changed because we become so relaxed with our wrath, right? And we have, like I said, started concentrating on so much of the layers that we carry. Like mera bana theek hai, mera bana kitho tak hai, mera damala, mere gol pag, gol dastar, mera aa kita, o kita. That is Guru's bana, right? And ਜਿਹੜਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਬਾਣਾ ਪਾਉਂਦਾ ਆ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਬਾਣੇ ਨਾਲ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰਦਾ, ਗੁਰੂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰਦਾ ਆ. That's without a shadow of a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt. But ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਕੱਲਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਬਾਣਾ ਹੀ ਪਾਉਣਾ ਆ, ਮਗਰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਰਹਿਤ ਬਾਕੀ ਦੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਨੇ ਦੱਸੀ ਉਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨੀ, ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਪੀਸ ਆ. ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਖਲੋ ਕੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਫੋਟੋਆਂ ਖਿਚਾਈ ਜਾਈਏ, ਆਹ ਕਰੀ ਜਾਈਏ, ਉਹ ਕਰੀ ਜਾਈਏ. ਉਹ whether that pleases ਮਹਾਰਾਜ or not, ਉਹ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜਾਣਦਾ, ਹੈ ਨਾ. ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆਹ ਤਸਵੀਰ ਆ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, I promise I will stop soon. ਆਹ ਦੇਖ ਲਓ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੀਗੇ, ਇੱਥੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਇਹ ਸਿੱਖ. ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਇੱਥੇ ਛੱਡ ਕੇ ਗਏ ਸੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ, ਇੱਥੇ ਛੱਡ ਕੇ ਗਏ ਸੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ. ਤੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਗਏ ਆ? ਇੱਥੇ ਕੋਈ ਇੱਥੇ ਆ ਗਏ ਸਿੱਖ, ਕੱਪੜੇ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਨੰਗੇ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਸਿੱਖ, ਇੱਥੇ ਆ ਗਏ. ਕਿਉਂ? ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਸਾਡੀ ਰਹਿਤ ਉਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਹੀ. ਨਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਰਹਿਤਵੰਤ ਰਹੇ, ਨਾ ਸਾਡੀ ਕੁਛ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਿਹਾ. ਸਮਾਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਮਾਂ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਪੀਪਲ ਲਾਈਕ ਮੀ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਕਮਜ਼ੋਰ ਹੋ ਗਏ. ਲਾਈਕ ਸੈਡ ਲਕੀਰ ਟੱਪਣ, ਲਕੀਰ ਉੱਥੇ ਦੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਆ, ਮਗਰ ਮੇਰੇ ਵਰਗਾ 100 ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਸੋਚਦਾ, 100 ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਸੋਚਦਾ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਟੱਪਾਂ ਕਿ ਨਾ ਟੱਪਾਂ, ਕੀ ਕਰਾਂ, ਹੈ ਨਾ. ਸੋ we've become really successful, we've come a long way, right? This was an ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਕੀ ਦੋ ਤਿੰਨ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਰਹਿ ਗਈਆਂ, ਰਾਈਟ. ਆਹ ਕੰਮ ਰਹਿ ਗਿਆ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ, right? I'm not saying, not like dissing all their work or anything like that. So, I'm not a hater or anything like that, right? They're, what they're, some of them, and some of their songs, what they sung about, it's brilliant. They, chalo, jorde a, whatever, however you want to look into. So I'm not knocking them. I'm just saying that look at, where we are at the moment, right? Nice ha sangaji, sanu ਇਹਨਾਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਡਾ ਰਾਜ ਦੇਣਾ ਆ, ਰਾਈਟ, ਨਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਡਾ ਰਾਜ ਦੇਣਾ ਆ, ਰਾਈਟ. ਤੇ hey look, Sikhs, we have done really well when it comes to becoming successful. ਪੈਸਾ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਬਹੁਤ ਆ, right? When it comes to money and wealth and other things, we like, we prosper, right? ਸਾਡੇ ਬਖਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਹੈ ਗੁਰੂ ਰਾਮਦਾਸ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦੀ ਸਾਡੇ 'ਤੇ, ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਵੀ ਕੰਮ ਕੋਈ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰੀਏ ਕਾਰੋਬਾਰ, ਉਹ ਸਕਸੈਸਫੁਲ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦਾ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਨਾਲ. ਸੋ ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਆਲ ਬ੍ਰਿਲੀਅੰਟ. ਡੋਂਟ ਥਿੰਕ ਆਮ ਨੋਕਿੰਗ ਐਨੀ ਆਫ ਦੈਟ. ਆਮ ਨਾਟ ਨੋਕਿੰਗ ਇਟ. ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ, ਆਮ ਨਾਟ ਨੋਕਿੰਗ ਇਟ. all I'm trying to say is, ਬਈ look, the period, ਅਸੀਂ ਰਾਜੇ ਸੀਗੇ, ਰਾਜੇ, right? Maharaj, like, gave us everything. We were our own Fauj. We were like, we don't need any other Fauj. ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਫੌਜ ਆਪ ਹਾਂ. ਮਗਰ ਦੈਨ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਦੀ ਗੁਲਾਮੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋਈ ਸਾਡੀ, look at us, right? ਉਦੋਂ ਦੇ ਆ ਗਦਰ ਮੂਵਮੈਂਟ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਾਲੇ ਪਾਣੀ ਦੀ ਸਜ਼ਾ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਹੋਈ ਆ, ਹੈ ਨਾ. ਅਤੇ we've got that. One thing we have really kept is this aspect here, which is brilliant, okay? ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ. But the thing is, what we forget, ਬਈ ਅਨੰਦਪੁਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਕਿਲ੍ਹੇ ਦੇ ਬਾਹਰ, outside the fort of Anandpur Sahib, it was ਭਾਈ ਕਨ੍ਹਈਆ ਜੀ, ਉਹ ਜਲ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਨਾ, ਉਹ ਵਰਤਾਉਂਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ. That's part of our ਮਰਿਆਦਾ, yeah, that we look after. We have ਨਾ ਕੋ ਬੈਰੀ ਨਾ ਹੀ ਬੇਗਾਨਾ. We don't see like, ਇਹ ਸਾਡਾ ਦੁਸ਼ਮਣ ਆ. For a Sikh, ਸਾਡਾ ਤਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਦੁਸ਼ਮਣ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, right? But if somebody wants to become our ਦੁਸ਼ਮਣ, that's different. ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਸਾਡਾ ਦੁਸ਼ਮਣ ਬਣਨਾ ਚਾਹਵੇ, ਇਹ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਆ, ਮਗਰ ਸਾਡਾ ਕੋਈ ਦੁਸ਼ਮਣ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ. ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਆ ਜਾਏ, ਗੁਰੂ ਘਰ ਆ ਜਾਏ, ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਰੋਕਦੇ, ਜੋ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਆ ਜਾਏ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਚਲਿਆ ਜਾਵੇ, ਹੈ ਨਾ. The thing is, ਆਪਣੇ ਭਾਈ ਕਨ੍ਹਈਆ ਜੀ ਸਿੱਖ ਸੀਗੇ, ਉਹ ਇਹ ਸੇਵਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ. ਮਗਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਕਿਉਂ ਭੁੱਲ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਵੀ ਉਸੇ ਹੀ ਅਨੰਦਪੁਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਕਿਲ੍ਹੇ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਅਤੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਬਾਬਾ ਦੀਪ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਵਰਗੇ ਖੰਡਾ ਵੀ ਵਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ. ਸਾਹਿਬਜ਼ਾਦੇ ਬਾਬਾ ਅਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ, ਜੁਝਾਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਘੋੜੇ 'ਤੇ ਚੜ੍ਹ ਕੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਦੁਸ਼ਮਣਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਿਰ ਵੀ ਲਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ, ਹੈ ਨਾ. ਮਗਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹ ਇਤਿਹਾਸ, ਉਹ ਰਹਿਤ ਭੁੱਲ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ. ਬਈ ਇੱਕ ਗੱਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਚੇਤੇ ਰੱਖਣੇ ਵੀ ਹਾਂ, इस पासे असीं रह गए क्यों क्योंकि अजकल्ल साध संगत जी सानूं वाह वाह मिलदी आ शाबाश मिलदी आ ਉਹ ਸਿੱਖ ਦੇਖੋ ਕਿੱਡੇ ਵਧੀਆ ਬੜੇ ਵਧੀਆ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਭੁੱਖਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਰੋਟੀ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਥਾਂ ਥਾਂ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਲੰਗਰ ਲਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਆਹ ਕਰਦੇ ਉਹ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਾਬਾਸ਼ ਮਿਲਦੀ ਆ ਹੈ ਨਾ not that we should be doing it for shabash or anything but the thing is that we're holding on to one aspect. It's like I see that sometimes and I look at our matas who lost their whole entire families in Punjab and she's having to go and wash someone's pande so that she can eat at night and go to her home where ਉਹਦੇ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਛੱਤ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੀ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਲੰਗਰ ਲਾਉਣ ਡੇ I'm like ਜਿਹੜੇ ਭੁੱਖੇ ਨੰਗੇ ਆ ਪਿਆ ਉਹ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਤ੍ਰਿਪਤੀ ਕਰਾਉਣ ਡੇ it's a practice again like I said I'm not knocking someone's seva we do but I think we need to go back to the beginning how we were right what we practice. Time has changed a lot for us. Kithe sige assi kithe aa gaye saad sangat ji and the very last slide. So how do we actually defeat time? And Maharaj says lekha dharm rai ki baki jap har naam ek rakha. So ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਨਾਮ ਆ ਨਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਜਪਦਾ ਆ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਨੂੰ ਜਪਦਾ when we talked about Mahakal Kal ka Aradhi we have to do Aradhana of the Akal to become timeless. And Maharaj says then your lekha your time your lekha is then destroyed. Okay the ਧਰਮਰਾਵਲ ਮੁੰਦ ਇਆਣੀ ਪੇੜੇ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਹਰ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਦਿਖੈ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮੁੰਦ ਇਆਣੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਆਣੀ ਸੀਗੀ ਤੇ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਹਰ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਦਿਖੈ and becomes gurmukh. When we become gurmukh ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ only then we realize and we see the truth. ਵਿਆਹ ਹੋਆ ਮੇਰੇ ਬਾਬਲਾ ਗੁਰਮੁਖੇ ਹਰ ਪਾਇਆ ਅਗਿਆਨ ਅੰਧੇਰਾ ਕੱਟਿਆ ਗੁਰ ਗਿਆਨ ਪ੍ਰਚੰਡ ਬੁਲਾਇਆ ਵਿਆਹ ਹੋਆ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਸੇ ਸਾਡਾ ਵਿਆਹ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ meaning that until we realize that reunion of this soul with Paramatma, this Atma with the Paramatma, onna chir Saad Sangat ji, we're going to be keep coming back into the cycle, back and forth, and we will be kind of troubled by the cycle of time over and over again until we break out that cycle and we meditate upon the Akal. है ना ਵਿਆਹ ਹੋਆ ਕਿਸੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੂੰ ਵਿਆਹ ਦੀ ਚਿੰਤਾ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਉਹ ਸੰਸਾਰੇ ਵਿਆਹ ਦੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਚੇਤਾ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ everybody wants to kind of get married or whatever we give istihar in the paper and things like that ਸਾਡਾ ਮੁੰਡਾ ਇੰਨੇ ਫੁੱਟ ਇੰਨੇ ਇੰਚ ਦਾ ਜੀ ਆ ਫਲਾਣਾ all of that right ਦੁਨਿਆਵੀ ਵਿਆਹ ਦੀ ਸਾਰੇ ਚਿੰਤਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਮਗਰ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ ਉਹ ਵਿਆਹ ਇੱਥੇ ਰਹਿ ਜਾਣਾ ਉਹ ਘਰ ਦੀ ਜਾਂ ਘਰ ਵਾਲਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਰਹਿ ਜਾਣਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਇੱਥੇ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ they bound by time ਉਹ ਵਿਆਹ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦਾ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਦਾ ਹੀ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਉਹ ਫਿਰ ਟੁੱਟਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ ਉਹ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਵਿਆਹ ਹੋਆ ਮੇਰੇ ਬਾਬੁਲਾ ਗੁਰਮੁਖੇ ਹਰ ਪਾਇਆ ਜਿਹੜੇ those who become gurmukhs and then they're united with Paramatma Vaheguru and then you become timeless yourself. Okay ji I am going to stop here. Thank you very much for listening. So if anyone has got any questions by all means and like I said if anybody wants the slides I can give them to them. Otherwise, if no questions, then thank you very much for listening. Saad Sangat ji, we say the Fateh. Vaheguru ji ka khalsa. Vaheguru ji ki Fateh. Sat Sri Akal.